Hello, my name's Helen and I'm one of the founders of Act On It. Act On It's a social enterprise and we aim to use drama and the drama process to make new theatre, deliver workshops, training sessions, courses, but the shared goal of all of our work is that we give people a real voice. So we want to hear authentic voices when we're making new pieces of work. Our current collaboration that really I was going to talk about today is a kind of series of projects that have all got the purpose of working with young people, including some very marginalised young people, to have a creative conversation that leads to the telling of their stories. And the three main projects in that are the Shouting Out monologues, the Getting Out drama workshop project, and the Get Out, which is a current phase we're in now, funded by Arts Council England. And Get Out project has actually got a focus group made up of some of the young participants that have taken part in shouting out and getting out, so we can be really sure and really check ourselves that their authentic voice is being heard. At Act On It, we kind of embrace the lived experience that we've brought with our various backgrounds to the board and our team of practitioners. And so we don't patronise the authentic voice. We actually celebrate it because it was the make and the break of many of us. When we work on our projects, we basically split the creative process down into 4 distinct phases. During the explore phase of our work, and I'll use the shouting out monologues really as the main point of reference for what I talk about today. During the explore phase, we just started having conversations, partly because lockdown 1 had just kicked in. So those conversations needed to be remote, they needed to be via text, Zoom, phone calls, whatever worked for the different participants and their circumstances. But from those conversations came ideas, and from those initial ideas came more ideas. And then when we got to the point of having too many ideas, we started to turn them into better ideas. And we often kind of think of that in our exploratory phase, that we go initial ideas, more ideas, better ideas. And better because they're refined, they're checked, they're interrogated and investigated in those conversations. And what survives those conversations, what sticks in our minds when we then settle down to refine the work, are those ideas that really have either come from so far left field, they've amused us, shocked us, terrified us, or just the ones that you hear time and time and time again, the constant ideas. When we've really got then that bucket of ideas, that chaos that we're going to start to put into order, we start our second phase, our development phase. And really, during the development phase, we have to look at what skills and techniques are needed, what kind of performers, practitioners, what kind of space, resources. If we're working online as we were with Shouting Out, how do we collate it and have that kind of unity of style? How do we have that through line of action within the piece of theatre as a whole? And then we start to also think, okay, we've got these stories. By this stage, we normally think these are stories that should be told and these are ideas that should be further developed. But whose stories are they? Because in our exploratory phase, we caused quite a mess and quite a muddle, and it's sometimes almost characterless by the time they get to this phase. So now it's a point to go back and go, whose story is this? Is this all of our stories? Is this one individual story? And what's the artistic effect we're trying to make? Are we trying to educate people or raise awareness of an issue or a concern? Are we trying to shock people into action? Or are we just sharing a little bit of poetry and a little bit of our souls with each other? When we've got our purpose, we've got our characters, we've got our storyline, we've got our ideas, it's then time to pull it all together and to enter the third phase of our working, which is the realisation phase. And really to realise our performance project with Shouting Out, it was to share it as a series of monologues on YouTube, It was to develop some links that made the connections between the ideas, the people, the stories. And it was to create it into a resource, a little book of monologues, which we currently sell on Amazon just for a few pounds to raise money to support the next group of young people that can take part. So there's that kind of little bit of enterprise hums away underneath our work as well. The webinar, the book of monologues, the online performance, the face-to-face workshop, whatever the realisation is, we always try and think as openly as we can for the outcome so that the work can be shared as effectively as it should be. And we can get those stories into as many people's, onto as many stages, into as many spaces as we can. After the realisation phase, I suppose a lot of people think of evaluation and review, but what we did quite a while ago in our work was realise that our review would actually come in regularly within each phase. So our review is ongoing. So by the time it comes to writing an evaluation report, be it for a funder or be it just to check our own, the impact of our work, to measure effectiveness, we actually have got most of what we need. So right from the beginning, we make sure we're considering alternatives. What other ideas should we have used? What other stories should we have told? Who else should we have told it to? How better a different type of outcome may have been? Should this be work that happens directly with young people, which is one very important strand of our work? Or is actually this a project that would better now packaged for the training and the support resources for teachers and youth workers, support workers, who could make kind of innovative little shifts and changes so that it's effective within their working day, their working practice? We then kind of think, are our processes and methods good enough for these young people and for this project? So did we capture those ideas in the right way? Did we create those stories using the best rehearsal techniques or methods of developing narrative? And then we kind of go, okay, who were our influences? What was our influence? Is it what we've read recently? Is it current thinking? Is it just something that's out there at the moment as a bit of a fad and a phase of working? Or is it something that's truly part of our practice? And then it has to be next steps. What next for this? There's always something very sad about working with people so genuinely and so openly and taking ideas if you don't then develop it, you don't take it to its next level. And I suppose that brings us full circle to shouting out was a starting point. It was a seed, it was an opening line, and then getting out was really a robust process of how to develop work. And then get out, which we're working on now, will hopefully be something that's more fully realised and can go to a much wider audience. Been really lovely to talk to you, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
We accredit our participants with Pearson Edexcel project qualifications. Act On It is a registered centre for the EPQ, the Extended Project, and Higher and Foundation project qualifications. Do get in touch if you'd like to find out more, and we can work with you to embed project qualifications in your delivery of arts activities in your educational setting. If you'd like to find out more, visit our website. You can click on the link on the homepage to buy your own copy of our Act On It monologues. You'll also find links to our social media on our website, so please click on the links and follow us to keep up to date with our work. Finally, thanks again for watching, and a big thank you to all our funders.